Hello everybody, my name is Mark, and this is Riffle, Shuffle, and Roll. Today I'm bringing you a closer look at It's Turbo Time, a trick taker for 2 to 4 players from Funko Games. If it's your first time visiting the channel, be sure to hit subscribe and the bell so you're notified about new games every week. Alright, let's head over to the table. I'm going to teach you how to play the game, and then after we'll come back to the fire and I'll give you a review. Out of the box, you're going to get an instruction pamphlet, a Turbo Man figurine, 4 reference cards, 1 for each player, 16 toy tiles, and these are what players are collecting to earn points, and finally a 36 card deck. The deck ranks 1 through 36. Each card has a special power. Each player will start the game with 5 cards and 1 toy. They will all start with a booster. Toys are kept face down in front of the player unless some power was played that allowed for the toy to be flipped. Now, as players collect toys from the shelf and add it to their cart, they will need to be placed to the right. So a player's cart or collection of toys will grow to the right. And that's important for the player to kind of know where they're at in the lineup, because other players will have the opportunity to take them or swap them with a toy from the shelf or from their own collection. In a game with less than 4 players, the extra boosters will be put away. The rest of the cards after the deal are placed face down as a draw pile. So you're going to need room for a draw pile and a discard pile. The player who most recently received a gift gets to start the game, and they're given the Turbo Man figure. This figure denotes who gets to lead the trick. For each trick, the same 5 steps are going to be repeated. First, starting with the player who has Turbo Man, a player plays a card to the trick, and then continuing left, each player also plays one to the trick. After the trick is completed, the next step is to resolve any actions or use the card powers. So every card has a power on it, and the powers are resolved in order from highest ranking card to lowest. So for this trick, the 36 would be resolved first. And it says shuffle. Flip all toys in your cart face down, then shuffle them. For the first trick, this has no meaning, but later in the game, when toys are exposed and people are starting to swap and steal, this comes in handy. Working your way from the highest ranking card to the lowest, all of the powers are resolved. Now this card's power is to peek at any toy, then swap any 2 toys. So for this, since everybody has the same valued toy right now to start the game, the player is going to go ahead and just peek at one of the toys on the shelf. So this toy will give that player 8 points at the end of the game. All the toys have a value of some sort. Some are positive, some are negative. And there are scoring bonuses for capturing certain sets of toys, like Dementor and his demons. If you collect those together, you will get some major point bonuses. So now player 2 knows where the golden ball, or this 8-point toy, is. After all of the powers have been resolved, now players will take turns taking one toy from the shelf and adding it to their cart. Again, that resolves in order from highest card to lowest. So 36 draws first, they take a toy and they add it face down to their cart. And it must be put to the right of the toy in the cart. Then, let's see here, the 30, the guy who played the 30 would choose a card, or choose a toy. Oh, so they found Turbo Man. That is the most valuable toy, and it's the only one in the shelf. So that's 10 points. And they add it face down to their cart. And then the number 7's next, so they're going to choose this. It's just another booster for 2 points. Poor booster. Nobody likes them. And finally, the number 4 gets to choose a toy, and they peeked. Let's see. Yeah, and they remembered where the ball was. So they got 8 points there, and they add it to their cart. And then after everyone draws, the trick is discarded, and then players draw back up to 5. Now, if you were the player who played the lowest ranking card to the trick, you have the opportunity to discard any number of cards from your hand. So you're going to be allowed to draw more. So let's say this player really wants to get rid of the 5 and the 12, and they want to try to get higher cards. They're also going to discard those. And the discard can be face up, it doesn't matter. If you want more secretive information, then keep it face down. So they've discarded 2 extra cards. Now the directions don't say in which order to draw, it just says all players draw. So I guess it's just first come, first serve, but we're gonna go ahead and play where everybody just draws in order. I would play where the trick winner draws first and then it goes from there, but there is no technical trick winner here, and you'll see why in a minute. So this player gets to draw 3 cards and add them to their hand. The player who played the lowest ranking card to the trick gets to take Turbo Man, and they get to lead the next trick. So in summary, here is everything that's happening. A card is played to the trick by each player, and then in order from highest card to lowest, card powers are resolved. And then from highest to lowest again, players get to choose a toy from the shelf and add it to their cart. Then the player who played the lowest card gets to discard extra cards from their hand if they want. Everybody draws back up to 5, and the person who played the lowest card takes Turbo Man. And it's those same 5 steps for every trick until all the toys have been taken from the shelf. That ends the game. Let's jump to another trick so you can see a little more about how the powers work. So we've played the trick, now it's time to resolve the card powers. 26 resolves first, and this card allows the player to peek at any 3 toys. And that's any. They can peek at a player's or what's on the shelf. So let's see, I'll peek here. This is Turbo Man. This is the knockoff Turbo Man, and it actually deducts 5 points from your score. So now they know where that is. And let's have them peek down here. Oh, they found Turbo Man. Cards that are peeked at are placed face down again. Oh, look at that, they found the other high point card. There are powers that will have cards flip up. So then 26 is resolved. He knows where all the best cards are now. And then 16 is next. Flip any toy face up. You may swap it with a toy in your cart. So that was this player here at the bottom of the screen. They're going to flip this up. Check it out. They flipped up the 8-point card. So they're going to go ahead and swap it. Not with Turbo Man. So this card stays face down for the swap, but this card stays face up, and they go in the same place. All right, next we have 15. Flip any toy face up. You may swap it with a toy in your cart. So now this person wants, this person wants revenge. So they're gonna come over here and flip up their card and see that it's Turbo Man. So they're gonna go ahead and swap it back. Booster, a 2-point booster. And they're gonna give that player a booster in exchange for Turbo Man. Now the whole table sees where Turbo Man, where the 2 highest point valued toys are. Next we have the 11. That's the final card that needs to be resolved. And look at that. Swap any 2 toys. So they're gonna happily, the demon's pretty good. Booster. They're gonna get rid of their booster. Now they don't need to tell their opponent what they're giving them, but once an opponent has a toy, they can peek at it at any time. So a player can look at what they have at any time to help remind them. So now this player has Turbo Man, and that resolves the power cards. Now players get to draw. So the highest card draws first, the 26. They're gonna go ahead and take this toy from the shelf, and they got themselves a demon, add it to the right of their cart. 26 goes to 16. Now they take a card. Oh, they drew Turbo Man. They got the knockoff. And now they're gonna try to work to get rid of that and swap it with maybe Turbo Man or well, they already got the golden ball. And then, let's see, 15 draws next, so they got a booster. They weren't happy about that. No one likes booster. And then the 11 gets to draw, so they'll take, ooh, the Turbo Man certificate, free 5 points. And they'll add it right here. The trick is discarded. The player who played the lowest, real quick. Okay, so the 11. The player who played the lowest card takes Turbo Man, discards extra cards from their hand if they want. They are gonna go ahead. See, here's the thing. You get lower ranking cards, but then they allow you to swap, which is a powerful ability. So, and you'll go later in the trick. So they're gonna keep their cards, and then everybody draws back up to 5. Again, the order of draw is not stated in the rules, so that's gonna have to be decided at the table. And play continues until all of the toys are taken. So that gives you an idea of how much swapping is gonna happen. And I played with just my wife, so it's just 2 of us, and even that was pretty exciting. Kind of a hot potato feel, but you wanna keep the potato unless it's Turbo Man, and then you definitely don't want that. So that's pretty cool. So let's fast forward. Oh, and let me just state, if you ever run out of cards in the draw pile, then you just shuffle the discard pile and start it over. All right, let's jump ahead and see how to keep score. So players earn points at the end of the game based on the toys that are in their cart. All the players will flip their toys face up and tally up their score. So Turbo Man is sort of like the Queen of Spades in Hearts here, or the Old Maid. You don't want to be stuck with this guy at the end of the game, because that will be an automatic deduction of 5 points from your end score. The Dementor is worth 3 points on its own, but if you have 1 or more demon along with it, it's actually worth 6 points. And then demons are worth points based on how many you have. So 1 is worth 2 points, but if you have 2, it's worth 10, 3, it's worth 15, and 4 is worth 20. So if you focus on capturing the whole set of Dementor and the demons, that is 26 points. And that's pretty substantial. Boosters work the same way. You get points based on how many of them that you've captured. So 1 by itself is worth 2, and then 2 is worth 4, but from there it goes up. 3 is 9, 4 is 16, 5 or more is 25 points. And that's a lot like Sushi Go, in a sense, how the combination bonuses add up. And then finally, you've got Turbo Man himself, who's worth 10 points. The golden ball, that's worth 8 points. And then, or I guess the lottery ball is what it's called. And then the gift certificate is worth 5 points as well. So the player with the highest score at the end of the game is the winner. Let's go ahead and go back to the fireplace and talk about it, give you my review. All right, so that is Turbo Time by Funko Games. And as you can see, the term trick taking is used pretty lightly here. You're not really playing a trick taking game here. You are essentially playing kind of an auction game or a bidding game where you put a card into the trick, and that card represents kind of like how willing you are to go first. But as you can see, I think it pays off sometimes, or a lot of times, to go last, to play a low card, because then you get to react to all the other swapping and flipping and things that are going on. And if you get to see where a more valuable card is going into somebody else's cart, and you get to swap last in the trick, then you're going to end up with that card or with that toy. So this isn't a trick-taking game in the sense of you're trying to win tricks in order to win the game. This is kind of a set collection, set management game where you're putting toys in your cart and you're trying your best to keep the high-valued cards and to keep your opponents from knowing where they are. And you're trying to, if you get Turbo Man, get rid of that thing. And there's different approaches here. I mean, based on what's in your cart, you could go for those combination bonuses like Dementor and the Demons, or as many of the unwanted, as many of the boosters, as many of those unwanted boosters as you can, because that does add up if you capture a lot of them. So as far as going kind of through my review here, as far as availability goes, it's ultra available. It just came out. So this game literally just shipped to me from Amazon just a few days ago and made it to my house. And it was pre-ordered, so it was set to ship as soon as it was available. So you should start seeing this, if not on Amazon already, you should start seeing it in stores here anytime. And that's always a good thing. I really don't feel comfortable promoting games that are hard to get. So the fact that this is out now and should be found alongside, any Funko game display or stores like Target, TJ Maxx. I've found the Funko game collection at a Walgreens. They had them there too. So Funko Games has done a good job making their games highly available. Now, as far as mechanisms and features, I really, really, really like the use of the trick to buy your position when picking a toy off the shelf and resolving card powers. I think that's really smart, because I think the game is going to quickly become about, in most cases, the game is going to become about positioning yourself to nab a high-valued toy from another player. And with just a 4-player game, it goes super quick, because there's 4 toys being taken off the shelf every trick, and there's only 12 on there. So we're talking 3 tricks. So you've got to do a lot, you've got to think ahead, and you've got to really pay attention to what toys are out there, so you can end up at the end of that 3rd trick with what you want to have. And I like how every card has a power, and it seems that the powers are balanced based on the value of the card. So some of the better powers, the actual swaps, are on the lower end, and then things just like peeking are on the upper end. So winning a trick will allow you to know where things are at, but not necessarily do anything about it. So then you've kind of got this alternating, I'm going to peek this turn and steal next turn, or swap. And I think that's really interesting. I really like the Turbo Man figurine, and I like how losing the trick, in a sense, or playing the lowest card, actually allows you to lead the next one. And it allows you to ditch more cards from your hand. And in a sense, they might be your hand's too high, and you want to be able to do some more swapping, or you want to be more reactionary to what's going on. So you might actually want to ditch those high cards with the hope of getting more low cards. So I think that is really cool. It turns a lot of I don't like that they use the term trick taking to describe it, because it's not a trick taking game at all. It's like I said, it's more of like an auctioning kind of game, because you're not trying to win the trick necessarily. You're paying, or you're bidding for that position in line for card powers to resolve and for taking a toy off the shelf. So the mechanisms and the features there, although it is, I think, poorly described as trick taking, I like what it is. I like the auction. I like the swapping and the peeking of toys. I think it matches. This is a beautiful alignment of theme and gameplay. One of the best that I've seen in a game like this, because it is just like the movie where everybody is scrambling for Turbo Man. Nobody wants Booster, and that's the lowest valued, other than Tubro Man, which nobody really wants. But whereas some of the other games in Funko's line are just movie franchises pasted on to a terrible game, this fits so well, because just like in the movie, it is just a big jumble. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the entire time, it's about Turbo Man being within his grasp and then slipping away like wet soap in a shower. So it's perfect. So for that, it gets an A+. Now, so yeah, audience, any fan of the movie is going to enjoy this game. Every card, the whole thing is set up like a comic book. The graphic design is like a comic book, and it captures scenes from the movie wonderfully. They picked really good illustrations for the cards, and oh man, the whole thing is just so much fun. So definitely, this is definitely appealing to a mass market audience, and I think it would be a good buy for people, even if they're not accustomed to trick-taking games. My wife, at first, we played a 2-player game, and at first my wife was a little overwhelmed at the 5 steps. And honestly, for anyone who's used to a trick-taking game, this is nothing. This is easy peasy, easy to follow. Play the card, resolve the power, pick a toy, and then set up for the next trick. It really is that simple. But for her, it was hard to catch on. But she admitted that it got easier as it went, and that for a next game, it wouldn't be a problem. It's just different for her. She is used to games with just a couple steps at most per turn. And this has, honestly, it's the 5 things every turn. But because of that repetition of the same 5 steps, it's so easy to pick up. I think this game could be enjoyed because it is not a true trick because it is not a true trick taker, in the sense that you need to pay very close attention to what cards have been played when you're trying to win tricks, and the tricks are the points. It's more about the toys and keeping track of those sets, and the ability that, and the fact that you are going to get to do something every trick because every card has a power. I think that'll keep younger kids engaged with the game. Plus the theme is awesome. Everyone likes that movie. At least it's a pretty popular movie, so I think most people like it. And yeah, so the audience is honestly anybody who enjoys that movie and wants a game that kind of captures the spirit of the movie and really does a good job taking little snapshots from the movie and putting them on the cards and on the toy tiles. And the fact that you get that Turbo Man figurine is pretty cool. Okay, so after playing it with my wife at 2-player and knowing what the potential of the game is with 3 or 4, and just the absolute hot potato back and forth of toys being swapped, peeked at, and stolen, organized so that other players can't take them from you. I am giving this game right now a rating of fun, meaning I like this game and I will suggest it to others to play, but I haven't played it enough to be comfortable giving it a very fun rating. But I think it'll get there. I think after a few more plays, especially if I get a chance to play it with a higher player count, I think it's going to very easily be very fun. Meaning I want everyone to play it. I'll take it to game nights during the Christmas season, obviously. And I think anybody can play it. I think it's approachable. It's easy to attain. It hits all those check marks. But I just want to make sure and make sure to give it a playthrough on higher player counts. So that's where I stand. Right now, it's fun. And it was fun at 2-player, which is hard to do. But again, because it's not with trick-taking games. But because this is not a true trick-taking game, it really works at 2. Because it's about the toys. And I had Turbo Man in my possession until the very last trick. And my wife stole it from me, and she completely annihilated me point-wise because she took that and the lottery ball from me. I had both of those in my possession at one time. But I did get a pretty cool Dementor and Demon bonus. But she still womped me. And I had Tubro Man. She gave me Tubro Man when she made the swap for the lottery ball. So she enjoyed the game and whooping me. So that's all I can really say about it now. I think that's pretty high praise for a really inexpensive trick-taking game. The quality of the cards, the quality of all the components is really good. The toy tokens are a nice thick cardboard stock that they are not flimsy. They will not bend easy. The little action figurine is really solid. It does not bend. It's not a soft plastic. It's a harder plastic like a mini, and I'm pretty sure you could paint it if you wanted to. And the cards are just wonderful quality cards. I don't know why they couldn't do that for the Something Wild game. Those are like cut from newspaper with a dull knife, but these things are good, really good. So very high praises for me. If you're looking for a trick taker, this game, this isn't it. This isn't a trick taker. But if you're looking for an auction style game where you're trying to collect toys and have the most points by the end of the game, then this is what you're looking for. And yeah, I think that's it. Cool. So thanks for watching. Check the description down below for all the important links that I like to share. GameRules.com, my Board Game Geek page, and Riffle Shuffle and Rules official website where you can find original games published by Riffle Shuffle and Rule. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep on playing.